mindfulness coach and founder of the Manifestation Academy for wealthpreneurs. In today's episode, I am going to talk about money blocks. One of the most common problems the small businesses face on a daily basis is money blocks. There isn't pretty much anybody that I've met who has said to me honestly that they don't have money blocks. I have money blocks as well, even though I do my inner work all the time. I still sometimes experience money worries, money blocks, money fears, call it whatever you want. So I thought it would be a good idea to dedicate today's episode to money blocks. Okay, first of all, I am going to talk about what are money blocks in order to establish the problem. Let's deep dive into the problem and see how we can solve it. Right. So, money blocks are subconscious belief or emotional patterns that limit your ability to attract wealth. These blocks are often formed in childhood, shaped by what we heard, saw, or experienced around money. I'm going to give you some examples with common um, quotes that I have heard over the years. Um, the first one, money doesn't grow on trees. This was a very common sentence at home while I was growing up. Um, Another one that blocked me from receiving money when I was already working was rich people are greedy. And another one, I'm just not good with money. Right. So I just want to say something very important here. Money is frequency. Okay. Money is energy. Money is energy. That's it. Money is energy. So if you're in a poverty mindset and if you keep thinking to yourself, I'm always broke, you will always be broke. But if you're thinking that you living an abundant life, you will live an abundant life. So by saying to yourself, for example, that I'm just not good with money, you are not going to be good with money. As simple as that. So when I started my first business, I had this fear of spending my money for whatever reason, even though I had enough money to live comfortably and to invest in my business. And this actually stopped me from growing personally and professionally. So I took some time away from this mindset and I did a bit of research about why I was feeling this way. And I started doing my inner work. And this was, I think it was 2018 when I started my first business. And to this day, I still work on my money blocks. But because I've become so experienced in working on myself spiritually, I can easily recognize uh, my money blocks. I can confidently acknowledge them and be honest with myself. And by doing so, I'm actually removing energy that no longer serves me and welcoming energy that is going to serve me. So it is difficult to recognize your money blocks. It can be quite scary. Another money block that comes to mind is being afraid to look at your bank account and how much money you've got left. This is something that used to happen to me when I worked as a cleaner. I didn't earn a lot of money back then, so I was always afraid to look at my bank account because it was usually empty. But now I know that this was something that stopped me from achieving abundance. Okay. I am going to talk about tools on removing your money blocks a bit later. So, what I want to talk about now is common types of money blocks. I have listed five. If I think of anything else, obviously I will mention it. So, the first one is self-worth block, believing that you're not good enough to be wealthy. Okay, well, that straight away is just not true. Every good human being who wants to do good in life and help others deserves to receive wealth. Okay. Fear of judgment. This was one of my money blocks. Worrying what people will, worrying that people will think that you are arrogant if you succeed. Right. This is very important part of a spiritual journey is not being worried about what people are going to say. The only opinion that matters to you is your own. Having a lot of money doesn't mean that you're going to become a nasty person. It means that you are going to live a free and comfortable life. Money gives you freedom, freedom to travel, to spend time with the people you love, gives you the opportunity to go out anytime you want during the day, and not being stuck in a normal 9 to 5 job. Okay. Another very common money block is scarcity mindset, always feeling like there is never enough, even when you have plenty. Okay, so often we have been programmed to think about the future too much and to hold on to the past and not think about the present. Okay, so I'm gonna say a quote here that I really, really like. So the past is a history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift. That's why we call it present. So whatever happened in the past stays in the past. You can't change it. The only thing you can do is learn from it and move forward. Okay. So yes, I used to be a poor cleaner, but I'm not a poor cleaner anymore. And when we talk about the future, well, we don't know what the future holds. So being worried about tomorrow or the day after is a complete waste of energy because tomorrow you might receive the perfect business opportunity. You might receive money from someone who at least you expect you will receive money from. Just anything is possible when you start your spiritual journey. What's important is now. Focus on the now. Do you have enough money now? Do you have enough money until the end of the day? And that's what you need to focus on. Do you have food in the fridge? Do you have roof over your head? The little things in life that we forget to appreciate is what's important. Another common money block is fear of responsibility, subconsciously avoiding wealth because managing money feels overwhelming. Um, I don't think that is it. I don't I don't often meet people who feel this way, but there is a way around it. You can always have a journal and budget your money if you're worried about money. Also, when it comes to food shopping, for example, here at the local supermarkets, you can buy a cheap option of an expensive option. So the best way to do this is basically you have to face the responsibility of dealing with money because it's your money and it's your responsibility. And if you are worried about spending too much money, um, just write down how much money you have and how much money you want to spend during the day. So create a budget for the day or for the week. Right, and the last one that I've got here is generational beliefs. Inheriting money, inheriting money attitudes from parents or culture that no longer serve you. Right, so yes, that is true. A lot of us have been programmed by the previous generation. I will be forever grateful to my parents for raising me to be a hard worker and to respect work, but there was a lot of limiting beliefs about money growing up. I'm now realizing this, and it's just that they've inherited their beliefs from their parents and their parents from their parents and so on and so on. So it's down to us to break the cycle so we don't pass on these limited beliefs to the next generation. I definitely don't want my children to be worried about money and to count their pennies when when they want to live life. Enjoy life. instead of feeling worried about money. Like I said earlier, money is energy. If you're constantly worried about money, you are never going to have money. I was when I was a pro cleaner, I was always desperate for money, and I never had money. Okay, so the moment I started working on myself and overcoming anxiety and working on my relationship with money, I started to receive money. Okay, um, so the next section is how to identify your money blocks. Okay, so I mentioned earlier what were the money messages in my home growing up. Write them down and just don't think about it. Rewrite. So if you were told that money don't grow on trees, let's say instead of saying this to yourself, say I'm open and ready to receive unlimited abundance. Or say that I love money and money loves me. That's my favorite affirmation. Another one, do I feel guilty or anxious when I receive money? I used to feel this way, by the way. I still have problem with receiving money, but I am working on that because by not allowing to receiving money, you are actually blocking your abundance because what you're saying to the universe, okay, I want to receive money, but at the same time, I'm afraid to receive money. So this is something to work on. So when someone offers you money, just say thank you and be truly grateful for it. Um, so yeah, the best way to deal with to identify your money blocks is to write them down in a journal. Be honest with yourself. It's very difficult to be honest with yourself. I know this, especially when it comes to money, but you have to be honest with yourself in order to identify what is standing in your way of receiving abundance. And only by acknowledging what the problem is, you'll be able to remove it and move forward in your spiritual and business growth. Okay. And which leads me to the next section, how to break through money blocks. Okay, so the first thing is awareness. Okay, identify and write down your limiting beliefs. I just mentioned that. um, I mentioned earlier as well, reframe the belief. For example, instead of saying I don't deserve wealth, change it to I'm worthy of abundance. Take a small aligned actions. So start saving. This is something I used to do back in the day. I've always been very good with money, actually. And having savings over on the side always made me feel good. And when you feel good about money, obviously your vibrations are uplifted. And when your vibrations are uplifted, you can manifest a lot quicker. Also something that I talk about with my students is charging for your time when it comes to running your business, charging accordingly for your time and energy when it comes to your business. Because of our limited beliefs and because we have been programmed that we need to go and get a job, we are afraid to tell to our clients that we want a certain amount of money for our products and services. Because when you work for someone else, you work for a certain amount of money, and you get paid the same salary every month, and you might get a pay rise, you might not get a pay rise. Usually in corporations, there is pay review, which is once a year, and there is no guarantee that you're going to get a pay rise. And in some companies, there is a maximum pay rise that you can get, which I think it was 7 or 8%. So you can't really become rich by working for someone else, at least in my opinion. So don't be afraid to say to say your prices, or to change your prices. So for example, I do have a bit more expensive services, but I also have cheaper options. I also offer installment payments. So there's a lot of ways around it. You can offer expensive services, you can offer more affordable services. But it doesn't mean that you have to charge less in order to attract clients. Okay, know your worth. This is part of the business and spiritual journey, because if you don't know your worth, the universe is not going to reward you with abundance. Everything starts with you. Okay. So the next one is surround yourself with empowerment. So there's lots of videos, there's lots of books that you can read on the subject if you want to educate yourself a bit more. There's lots of videos on YouTube actually, and they are absolutely free. And my favorite, affirmations and visualizations. So daily habits to sort of train your mind to switch from poverty mindset into abundance mindset. So like I said earlier, instead of saying I don't deserve money, say I am worthy of receiving money. My favorite is I love money and money loves me. Whatever money I spend will be replaced with more money. um, I Yeah, just so many. I can't think of any now, right now, on top of my head. Maybe I should have written down a few more. But pretty much that's it. What I wanted to talk about today. You can fix your relationship with money, but you need to make this decision. So when it comes to healing, um, you need to make the decision that you want to become a better version of yourself. Okay. So yes, this is a very nice content that I'm talking about here, but at the end of the day, you have the power to transform yourself and to improve your relationship with money, because money is not bad. Like I said earlier, money is freedom, and you can have more money, but you need to sort of say to yourself that it is possible. Another a little tip that I want to say before I finish is, so when you manifest money, um, talk about money or particular amount of money as like you already have it. Okay. For example, I am making £1,000 a month from my business courses, just as an example. Okay. And keep saying this to yourself every day, because at the beginning, when you say it, you will not believe it. And this is again the limited beliefs I talked about earlier. But the more you say this to yourself, that you will program your brain to actually believe it. And when you start believing it, you're going to start attracting it. Okay. Right. So, like I said earlier, I'm a manifestation teacher, mindfulness coach, and founder of the Manifestation Academy for Wealthpreneurs, where I help small businesses and aspiring entrepreneurs to overcome their fears, their money worries, and run successful businesses. I offer various online courses and coaching programs. I'm going to include a link to my Facebook group in the comments, and all of my other links. If you want to talk about which one of my products and services is more suitable for you, we can arrange a call. Thank you very much for joining me today, and have a wonderful day.